All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday evening Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host for the moment, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen, and he will be taking over the session. I hope everybody has had an awesome, awesome, awesome day. And we're ready to get started. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. Give me 1 second here, everybody. Got to get a couple more things set up and we will get rocking. There we go. All right. So if you guys can hear me loud and clear, drop me a 1 in the chat. Perfect, perfect. Tanya, glad to have you. Glad to have you. All right, so let's hop over to trading economics real quick. Take a quick look from a fundamental perspective and see what we have going on. All right. So all right, so real quick, right? Wall Street rallies for a second day. The Dow gained over 300 points, while the S&P and the Nasdaq were up 1% in a volatile trading as investors were weighing the prospects of more aggressive tightening by the Fed while waiting for more updates on corporate earnings. Goldman Sachs, which rose 2%, joined other big U.S. banks in reporting quarterly results that surpassed markets on the upside. All right. So they call this earnings season, right? You got a lot of banks giving their reporting their earnings for the previous quarter and prepping for the fourth quarter. So got a boost in the stock market, right? And we talked about it earlier this morning where we could see these retracements in the dollar continue, right? And these tracements across the board continue. So that's where we are. U.S. futures jump as Netflix jump on Netflix earnings, right? So good news there for the stock market. Then we have crude stockpiles unexpectedly fall. API crude oil stock change in the United States decreased to 1.7 billion barrels in October from 7.5 billion in the previous week. Gasoline stocks fell also, right? So got some changes happening in the oil market. Things are getting interesting from that perspective as well. All right. So fun times to say the least. Okay. So we had a little bit of shakeup happening throughout the day today with the earnings. That's pretty much it for the most part. All right. So real quick, we'll hop over to the calendar. All right. So let's refresh. And we talked about the New Zealand CPI that came out on Monday. So from a reporting perspective, not a ton of high impact news that happened today. It's more just the earnings coming out of the stock market. But coming up at 2:00 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, we got CPI coming out of the UK, and then at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we got CPI coming out of Canada. Okay, so that could definitely give us some shakeup there. We got final CPI year over year for Europe as well coming in at 5 a.m. Okay, then tomorrow night we have employment change and unemployment rate coming out of Australia. Okay, out of their meeting minutes, they took more of a dovish stance, right? So these unemployment rates could potentially move their leadership in one direction or the other when it comes to potentially becoming more hawkish or taking a step back to continue to see how their increase of interest rates is impacting the market overall. Okay, so that's it from a fundamental perspective. Real quick, not a ton. Are there any questions? No questions. Okay, cool deal. Let's take a look. We'll take a look at the dollar real quick just to see where the dollar stands, and then we will move from there. Okay. So the DXY, we talked about it this morning, right? We're sitting in this range, and pretty much all day today, it's just been sideways, just been a sideways push. Nothing from a fundamental perspective that has moved the dollar. You had your stock market give its bump, but the dollar itself didn't necessarily respond. Okay, wasn't a ton of action. So on your dollar crosses, you had some of those retracements kind of sit sideways as well, and not really move a ton in either direction. Okay, so we bounce back to the daily. Just take a look at it from a longer term view, like so, right? And we're sitting in this 118 to 127 zone just with the sideways push, right? You see just straight indecision from a daily perspective. Okay. So that's pretty much what it looked like all day for a lot of the crosses, right? So that's the dollar. Let's take a look at oil. There's been some back and forth there. So let's bounce back to the daily. I haven't looked at this in a minute, so we'll get a nice clean look to see what's happening. And we'll pull these out. So this is our capital fib on the daily time frame, right? AB boundary, we got a shallow retracement. We pushed down into this 118 and 127 zone. We started to get this takeoff to the upside, and now we're in this retracement, okay? Started to get the push up, and now we're in this retracement. So potentially what we could see here, right? And some of you might have caught it, right? But if this daily level holds, right, we could potentially see crown pattern right here. We'll see it a little bit cleaner on the 4-hour time frame, right? But if price stays above this daily level here, we could see this push up, and then we'll get that crown pattern formation, okay? And that'll be the fib there, 618 retracement on the nose, right? And then matching D extension is here at the 50% retracement level, okay? So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that on the daily level to see what happens there, okay? So that's our daily look. Now, pull that off for a second. We'll pull this off for a second. And we'll drop down to the 4. Just get a little bit of a closer look, right? On the 4, similar deal, right? Shallow retracement. We pushed down into that 118 and 127 zone, kept it clean. We got the push out, and here is that crown pattern, okay? So it looks like we're trying to hold there now. We have an official swing low here on the 4, right? 2 candles to the right, 2 candles to the left. That gives us our swing low, okay? So we'll look for that to potentially continue that push. And there's that crown pattern there. Okay. So like we saw on the daily time frame, right? Here's that harmonic fib from bottom to the top. And there's that 618 retracement level, right? Market took back 61.8%, matching D extension. If that level holds, you're looking at 104.73. Okay, which would be interesting, right? Got a lot of work to break through these levels. There's tons of back and forth happening with the United States and Saudi Arabia. There was an article that was sent out saying that the United States is on the verge of damaging the relationship with Saudi Arabia beyond repair, So things are getting kind of tense from that perspective. Saudi Arabia is a large producer of crude. And at one point they were trying to resolve some differences to get a bill re-signed to allow for the production coming out of Saudi Arabia to kind of be available to more and for them to increase the amount. But at the moment, it doesn't look like that's happening, and it hasn't looked like that was actually going to happen for quite some time. So that back and forth has continued for months on end. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled on this if you trade oil, right? But also remember, oil tightly tied to the Canadian dollar as well. So this could potentially give a slight boost to the Canadian dollar when we're looking at those Canadian crosses. Okay, so let's keep that in mind if we do get this push up and we're able to break above this weekly level and continue in this retracement phase. Okay, so that's the 4 hour look. If we drop down to the 1 now and we look at our Fibonacci sequence, and I just want to look at this from the top of this last move down, right? If we get the formation of this right tip, okay, just look at that potential reversal zone. And this is what we have. We got a nice AB boundary, and we're well into this retracement phase now. Okay, so nice move there. Look for a potential pullback and kind of test this level a little bit, and then see if we get that continuation to the upside. Okay, so that's oil. Looking for that thing to continue to turn over and press up. Any questions here on oil? No. All right, cool deal. Let me see something 1 second. All right. So that is that. Let's take a look at. I want to take a look at this dollar Swissy. We looked at it earlier today. Looking for a potential crown reversal pattern at this high. So I just want to get an update on where we are there. So from a daily perspective, right, we pushed into that 118, 127 zone, and we're in this retracement phase, right? Looking to see if we get a deeper retracement here coming on the lower time frames. Okay. So drop to the 4. All right, and this is the look on the 4. We're sitting at a 382 retracement right now. Got the cloud on there, trying to break through the cloud. But if we get this pullback here, right? Not a crown pattern, but a head and shoulders pattern, right? We could get this push back down to the downside, right? That pattern looking like this. Okay. If that is to occur, nice retracement and then a continuation down like so. Okay. So watch for potential retracement coming here throughout the week this week. Okay. Not a ton of movement, but this kind of gives you that signal that we saw from the dollar perspective as we drop down to the 1 hour time frame, right? It's pretty much just been sideways, right? You got some pushes up, pushes down, but overall it's just been a sideways move throughout the day today. So we'll see at some point if we get the catalyst to push this back to the upside in favor of the dollar, be it temporarily, and then see if we get another retracement. Okay. So that's the dollar Swiss. Any questions there? No? All right. Give me 1 second. Benny, good evening, bro.
What's going on, Ryan? What's up, everybody?
Not too much, man. Not too much. You all right?
Yeah, man, I think my computer's about had it with me. That's all.
Technology makes it fun, man. Technology makes
Yeah,
it fun.
I think I'm on. I think it's on its last legs. It's time to make the move. Hey, Tanya. So I see we're covering the dollar Swiss, eh?
Yep, I looked at DXY. Took a quick look at oil,
Okay.
and then just popped to the dollar Swiss just to see what updates we had on it there, but not much.
DXY and oil.
Yep, DXY and oil.
Okay, cool, man.
All right.
Cool.
So I can turn this thing back over to you, man, and let you run with it.
All right, sounds good.
Good deal.
Let me see here. Okay. I think I'm good. Can everybody see my screen? Drop me a one. Ryan, am I good?
Yep, we got you clean, man.
Are we good? All right, I appreciate it. So the dollar index, so it's kind of just hovering around. So what was the consensus? What does everybody think? We're gonna fall bearish or what?
What you guys think? I think we got a potentially retracement in us back to that daily support level.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell. So fundamentally, right, still dealing with everything out of the UK.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. So I know I'm jumping on late. Did we talk about that at all? Is everybody clear?
Go ahead and clear it up for us, bro.
All right. So let me ask this first, right? Drop me a one if you know what's going on in the UK. Drop me a two if you don't. It's all over the place. Oh, so we got a bunch of ones, so everybody knows what's going on. So okay, there's no need to explain it further. Everybody's got it. Everybody's got what's going on. So oftentimes we talk about how we have this monetary divergence between, different central banks and currencies, but this time we have a huge fiscal and monetary policy divergence within the same country, right? So you've got different ideas coming out of the Bank of England versus what the fiscal stance is from the UK government, and we can see that it caused an entire debacle. So everybody knows what's going on. So I won't delve into the details on how that whole thing came about, because it's all surrounding bonds, right, and the gilts, right, as they call them in the UK. So we'll continue to see how that whole circus continues to pan out. So you said we looked at oil, the DXY, and the dollar Swiss, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is. It's a total blunder. And she said, I'm sorry, but I fixed it. something. I'm like, what? You fixed it. Yeah. Okay. Well, the arrogance is something. But so I want to take a look at the Aussie New Zealand, simply because we got a new setup, a new AV boundary that I spotted on the one, right? So I want to give everybody an alert on that. Aussie New Zealand is choppy right now. So what you want to put this one on your radar, because that gives us an opportunity. So let me dive out here, right? And we know, right? Now tell me, is anybody still holding short on the Aussie New Zealand? Because we spotted it when it was right up here at the top. Is anybody short on the Aussie New Zealand? Yes, no? Yes, okay. You still got it, broke that 111? All right, well, hey, here's the deal. It's been bearish for quite some time. So off the high that it formed when we first spotted it, it's moved quite a ways, right? Almost 350 pips, okay? Depending on where you got in, we just broke this 111 level, but we got a stochastic that's flatness in the buy zone. So we're thinking what? Potential correction. And what's crazy is we have a commodity rally, so to speak, with the commodities we saw in the market. So I hear all the recession talk and people saying we're in a recession, but typically you don't see these type of little rallies that's happening with commodities and things like that, like we're seeing here. So I think, and Ryan, let me know your thoughts. So here's the thing: central banks around the world hiking rates, being aggressive, trying to catch up with the Fed. But the cost of that liquidity, right? The cost of the liquidity, yes, it's getting more expensive. But from a lot of the things that I'm reading and seeing, the access to it has not started to decrease. So it hasn't started to tighten in that regard. And now we're in earnings season, of course, big companies reporting earnings. So there seems to be a little bit of resilience there. Now, I don't know, because of that, if it's, I know they're trying to get this whole soft landing thing. It may be a hard landing at the end of the day, but hey, I'm going to continue to ride and look at my technicals and play the markets, right? I'm not going to worry about the timing of a recession and when it's going to happen. I know there's a lot of bears in the market, and there's a lot of money to be made when we go into a recession for people that have been positioning themselves in that type of manner. But it's one of those things that you keep saying is going to happen, and until it happens, then you say, "I told you so," right? So I don't typically like to follow those type of notions. Hey, the market's still moving in waves, so I'm going to trade accordingly. So we're short, right? We've been short. We just broke 111. That's a daily level. You can see here on the 4, coming off that high. That's a beautiful, right, ABCD wave, everybody. Okay, so look, A, B, C, D, right? Boom. Okay, came in right there at that level, and we broke that 111. So you can see that 4 hours a larger wave, 1 hour is a smaller wave. So the game continues. We've now have a new AB boundary on the 1. So we look at the scenarios. Okay. All right. One scenario is we make this U-turn and we start to go to that 382, that 61.8 target, and we get to the high. Okay. Then we decide, look at everything at that point. Is a high price? Are we going to continue bearish? If the answer is yes, then we can look to short. Okay. With the current trend. Other scenario is what? We get our AB boundary. We get our shallow retracement. Right? And we push down to our zone, then we push up. That's the classic 80-20 play. And then eventually, if it wants to get back bearish, we look to fall short. Okay. Then, of course, we have that third scenario where the momentum is so strong to the downside where it just pushes straight to a D extension with very little retracement. So this is the beginning, right, of how we could play these setups. So whether you're on the 5, whether you're on the 15, so maybe you go on a 5 and you say, you know what? I know I have a new AB boundary. So if you're playing this off the 1, like so, okay, just walk yourself through this over and over and over again, and you'll get it. Okay. So I've got this new AB boundary. This is where it all begins. Okay. And we're looking for those high probability U-turn points. So we can say, hey, I can pull my 1 hour fib down there like that if I want to. A few different ways we could do it if you feel like you need to do that. I'm at a B boundary. Here's my 118, 127 zone. Okay. You could do it. You could do it like that. Okay. Or maybe you feel like you don't need that. And you could just mark the levels and bring them down. So you can kind of put the levels on there and say, you know what? Hey, this is my B boundary. Like so. This here is my 118 level here. Okay. All depends on how you want to work your charts, but all roads lead to the same place. There. So. And then we know we've got our potential targets off this 1 hour fib at the 382, at the 61.8. We know if we get to that TP3, we take that A out. There's your TP3 like that. Okay. So what you could do, well, yeah, this is on the 5. All right. Get these out of here. I can say, you know what? I've got a reset with a new AB boundary. I'm gonna start dropping trend lines. Okay. like so. I could do it like that. We've pushed to a low point and we are ranging. Everybody see that? That's just a tightly wound range right there. So the lowest point in this trend is actually right here. So, right, you follow trend line rules. We're trying to get through the lowest part of the trend to catch the reversal. But since we've moved sideways in this Asian session, you can kind of bring it to the outside like that if you want to, and wait for it to break. Okay, so that's your trend line method. And we're saying, you know what? This is my B boundary, 118, 127 zone. We start breaking trend lines now, right? May look to take that trend line break, potentially a pullback and a continuation, right? So that ABCD wave type of effect, okay? Correction and then up. All right, everybody got that? Drop me a 1. Okay, it's a good lesson, right? Whenever we get those AB boundaries to form and say, hey, what can possibly be the game plan, right? If I want to play that reversal. If not, then you're just waiting for a high price to get back short if our bias is going to continue to be to the downside on the Aussie New Zealand, okay? Or you can say, you know what? I don't want to deal with these trend lines, okay? What I'll do is I'll come in and I'll put a cloud on, okay? Like so. And I'll look to play the cloud break. Okay? So if I get price to break the cloud, now you see how this is moving through here, right? When you're using a cloud, you prefer that you've got something starting to trend. Right now, it's just whipsawing around, right? So you still want to see the same price action and the same rules, okay? You want to see your TK crossover, right? In red, blue, you want to see a Tinkerson cross your Kijans, okay? You want to see that price action, right? Start to break through. You want to see your Chico span, right? Or your lagging span on the opposite side of price. And you want to see price push through. And then you want to make sure that you got that bearish, that bullish cloud up ahead if you're looking to get long. Okay. Right now it's just range and consolidating in the Asian session, but this is what you would want to see. So while you see that price action push up, you want to start to see some things align with the cloud as well. Okay. So that's another option to use the cloud. Okay. Now, this is our B boundary off the 1 hour B boundary. Okay. So this might not even be your trade plan may be, I don't like taking trades off of here in regards to playing a reversal. But if this price pushes down and starts to trend downward into my zone, okay. So now I've broken out of this range to the downside. It's sitting in my zone. Now I'll look to take it. Trend line break, cloud break, things aligning. Now I'll look to get long. Okay, like that, right? So that's going to come down to your trade plan. But I wanted to cover that because when we have a fresh AB boundary, this is what we have to start thinking consistently in our head, right? All right, there's a few different scenarios that this is giving me. How am I going to play it? Now, however you decide to play it, just make sure that you play it consistently. All right. And again, right, can't say it enough. You have 2 options, right, in regards to counter trend or with the trend. If you're trading with the trend and you're continuing to the downside, you want to see a high price anyway to get into your optimal zone here in red to get short. Questions on the Aussie NZD?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. So we're good there. I also wanted to take a look at So you did the dollar Swiss. I want to take a look at this Swiss yen. That's starting to hang around and push up around that level. Okay. So we're starting to get up in that zone, that 118, 127 zone, okay, on this 1 hour chart. So this is one that we want to keep an eye on and see how price starts to react around this area. You can see how it's starting to get tight. Now we're in the Asian session, right? So sometimes that's the way it is, but it's creeping its way up into that zone. It's starting to get extended. Deploy your trend lines, right? Deploy your trend lines. Go down to your 15, go down to your 5 or whatever you trade, or you can stay on the 1 and start to just track it. Okay. And we know we're getting up in that 118, 127 zone. All right. So just start to pull your fibs. I mean your trend lines. Just like that. Okay. And let the trade come to you. So there you go, right? If you're on a 5 minute, okay, same thing, right? Same type of scenario there. You can even get an inner one off of this one here, like so. Okay. But it's ranging, so we don't know, but you can stay conservative because you got a long way to go. Okay. So you can wait for the break of this more conservative outer trend line here. Okay. So that's the Swiss yen, right? Because we see what it's doing. You see where it's at on your weekly. Right up in that zone, and it's testing this level again. Okay. So everything's running against that yen. Right. These things are pushed. You can see here, look, on the daily. Okay. We've got a 382 that broke out. Oversold. I mean, overbought. This is an extensive leg here. It's extended. And that's what you're seeing on the lower time frame. That's a 460 pip upward move. So what we're saying is, hey, it's a time to correct. Okay. That can be played. Now, again, you've got multiple choices. Right? When it comes to this. This one's moving. You see how they hit that 382, that spike? Look at the 80-20, what happened in that 80-20 zone, the spike down and then the correction back up. So we were ranging, right? And now we broke it. So here we're overbought, right? It's pushing down. We got that on the daily, right? Go back to my daily chart, okay? So we've got the possibility of this price correcting. If you don't play the correction, just wait for the low price and look to continue long, right? Until the Bank of Japan, right, intervenes or do whatever they keep threatening they're going to do. You still got huge monetary policy divergence between Japan and the rest of your other majors, and that is what it is. So overall long, most of your yen pairs. It's just a matter of, hey, do I want to continue to ride with the trend, wait for the low price, or go ahead and play these corrections? All right. Question on the Swiss yen. No. All right. I wanted to take a look at the peek at this Euro Aussie, because it's pushing up quite a ways, but off this sub fib. So we came into this 382. We finally broke out. We got to that level. We've been eyeing that for a while off this double bottom here. But now we're at this 382 on a daily, and we're moving into being overbought. So the momentum may slow here, and off this sub fib to the upside, we're at this 118, 127 zone. Okay, so you got a higher time frame, 80-20. So see if we may be able to get some relief, right, on this Euro Aussie. Okay, we're getting a little rally in the commodities right now. Be interesting to see how long that lasts. But this is what it looks like on the 4. I got a trend line drawn. We've already got a 382 on this one, on this 4-hour fib, but higher time frames control the lower time frames. If it's time for that price to push down off that 80-20 on the daily, that's what it's going to do. That's what it's going to do. So that's where we are. I'm watching that one closely. I don't know if I have the 1 hour view. Yep. Here's your 1 hour. Okay. Price is just starting to, it's oversold here, but it's just starting to move sideways a bit, which that always catches my eye, right? When I see things happening like that on the lower time frame. And it's starting to have it's been so impulsive to the upside, but now it's starting to have its struggles, right? And we're not quite at the extension yet or anything on the lower time frame fibs, but it's starting to struggle at this level because where we are here. Okay. So it's just a matter if it wants to correct now or push to that 1600 level and at the extension. But it'd be nice if it corrects now. So that's one that you want to put on your radar to watch as well. Any questions on the Euro Aussie?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. It's a quiet crew tonight. Week's just getting started. It's the fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter. Oh, I want to take a look at this EuroCAD. And here on a daily, we're in a, right, not quite overbought yet, but this zone right here seems to be, right, pretty tough area right now. Okay. So if we come down on the 4, okay, we come into the 4, we can see where we're getting held up. All right, getting held up. We've got a 50% retracement, getting held up at that daily level. And then if you see here on the 1, this is a clean, pretty much a triple top right in that zone. Okay. And we've got a 80-20 here. Okay, so we got a nice pop off that daily level. So I'm watching this one closely, see if we can start to get some trend line breaks and it starts to make some lower lows and lower highs. Take out some support levels to see if it wants to give us a correction back to the downside. Okay, like that. So this one here, right? That one I'm keeping a close eye on and see if it wants to push down. Okay. Questions on that EuroCAD? No? Okay. All right. So I want to take a look at this Euro GBP, right? Because it got off to a good start, and then it pushed further within the zone here. But we got a little bit of a push off this 85.63 level. So if I come down here to the 4, right? I am watching this one closely. So we got 85.63. But what I want to see, right? I got to get something. Since we got that initial push, then it pushed down to this 85.63 daily support. What I want to see is, hey, can we break a trend line, get into the buy zone, right? And take out this high. Okay. Not messing with it until I see that, because I want to see it take the high out. Okay. Then hold here at this level. Then we can have another conversation. Okay. Be nice and conservative about that one because everything that's going on in the UK. All right. Okay. Questions?
No, sir.
All right. I had this written down, but I'm not. I think I had this on the on the 4. Oh, just wanted to show that this one here, right? This one is probably going to push to the D. Probably a retest is 145.55. but it appears to be on its way, right? Euro versus the yen. All right, so retest is what I want to see if we can get this. Okay. Push down like that. See if that can hold, because it's a euro yen play, right? And this can be anybody holding this long, this euro yen. It's been moving topside for a long time.
No, I'm
No?
not holding it long. No.
Wait, hold on. Is anybody in anything right now?
What you guys got? Aussie CAD.
Short, cool.
Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss dollar CAD. New Zealand dollar.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah. So here's the D extension here, right? So if we get a retest of that weekly level, right, 300 is 350 pips still away, right? So I'm looking to see if we can get a check back. It tried to push down already, but if we can get a check back at that level, right, and it holds, gives me a swing low at that level, like so, like that. Okay. May look to add, get that, take that the rest of the way like that. Okay. So still bullish on the euro yen, looking for a correction. Okay. Opportunity to add to the position if you're holding it. Any questions?
That's what I'm looking for as well, man. That retest at 145.
Yeah, that would be a
level.
Yeah, if that holds, that'd be good, man. That's a good play there. On the larger pairs, I tend to get into those type of setups once it's running. You know, if it holds at a key level, like a weekly level like that, because the moves are so big, you know.
Yeah.
With these larger pairs, you know. Then of course it'll finish out and form a new AB boundary, do it all over again. The pound Aussie. And want to bring this up. What do you think about this one, Ryan? You think this is gonna make us move to the 382?
Man, it's
a 15-minute play and it's still large because of it's the pound Aussie.
Yeah. So I'm conflicted just because of everything that's happened over there. Because even on the higher time frames, you got an 80-20 scenario on the daily too.
Yeah.
So I want to say yeah, but what I want to see is a break of that a break of 178.910.
178.910.
Yeah. Is that the right level? Yeah, 178.910. We get a nice break below that. Just more on a higher time frame, looking for that move down. But if I get a nice break below that, then I'll look to get short on it. Right now, I'm just sitting there watching. I'm not in.
I got you. Yeah, I see you there. Okay. Yeah, I see it sitting pretty nice on 2 time frames.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it'll pick up some sell pressure breaking that 178 level.
That's what I'm thinking. At least to get you back to 173, right? If it doesn't go all the way back down to that 382,
yeah,
it'll still be a nice move within that range.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna jump over to the NZD-JPY. Take a look at it, right? So overall, look, from the daily, that's pushing long, right? We're above 83.97. but we just broke resistance. So when we see that, when we get those major levels broken, see here how it rejected the last time and now it pushed through. So we want to see if it wants to check back to that 83.97 to see if it's real. Okay, so when we come down to the 1, you can see where it's stalling a little bit. So that's an 80-20 potentially. There's that 83.97 level. Okay, so even back to that 83.97, right? It's like 90 pips or so. Okay, if you come down to the 15-minute, you got a brand new AB boundary. Okay, so no matter what the time frame, the price action is the same, right? It can either turn over now and start to work its way down, okay, get long, or we can get that 118, 127 like that. Okay. Then it come down, continuation. All right. These are all setups, right, that we want to pay attention to, because we come back weeks later and we say, oh, that trade moved 250 pips, 320 pips, right? We just have to be patient for these larger swings. Dollar yen. Right. Price is just continuing to work its way up. It's gonna hit 150 probably, right? We come in right at 150. I don't know what they're gonna do. We're overbought at 100%. Overbought. Starting to push sideways a little bit. Okay. Okay. So here's a potential 4-hour setup. Okay. Love to see it push up a little bit more around that 118 level, hit that 150 to see if that's what everybody's eyeing for some profit taking. Okay. Don't know when or if we'll get any intervention out of the Bank of Japan, but we may get to a situation where that price rise high up around that 150 zone and investors start to take profit on that dollar yen, which will push that price down. Any questions on the dollar yen?
No, sir. I'm looking at that 150 level too. On your 1 hour, you got a matching B extension right in that same zone as well.
Okay.
A little bit of confluence there.
Oh yeah, 150.11, almost spot on. You are correct there, sir. But that's getting super high.
It's getting up there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Tanya, you said you're in the demo. You're in the demo and doing what? Any particular pairs that you're trading in your demo? It counts. Your Aussie dollar Swiss. Pound Aussie Joy at 180. 59. Awesome work. Jerry, Ethereum. Let's take a look at that. See what we got going on. Jerry, how we playing it? Long, short?
Long.
Long, okay.
Yes.
You up right now?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Good. Good. What time frame you playing it?
1 hour.
1 hour?
Yes.
Okay. So what was your thought process behind taking that trade?
I got it in at around 13 1300.
Yep.
If I got in around 1300, I'm expecting it to go up.
To go up.
Up
So
towards,
you're gonna ride the rally, huh?
yeah. Like around
I
like
see.
1290 is where I got in at.
1290.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So we got a little check back happening.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. Good work. Good work. You like trading cryptos? That's your thing?
Ethereum. That, you know, I've been trading that, you know, for some time now. So I kind of like how it moves.
Okay. I got you. I got you. I'm ultimately over the long term pretty high on Ethereum. I think it's gonna do well once everything settles down. Like I say, I'm in big with the crypto once we get more regulation behind it. I think, like we always say, that I think that's gonna be a game changer for it. So,
Yeah.
yep. Well, hey, I hope it keeps going to the moon for you in this little rally that's going on in the markets.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
I'm looking at it to go to 15, at least to 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1500.
Yeah.
All right, it's got a ways to go. Just manage to trade. You're in there. Good job, man. Good job. Reese, you still in that Euro USD? Nope, got out. Okay. You should have did all right on that, huh? That was a good setup that you spotted. Yeah, you're welcome. Appreciate you posting that. Okay. Euro GBP and the Euro USD, Tanya. Interested in GBP 4 hour. Yeah, we posted that in the Telegram. I like the downside on that when it's just hard to tell, you know, which way the Bank of England is going right now, considering everything that's going on, and it's definitely reflected in the charts because it's just bouncing around. But that's still a monster move if it starts to work its way to the downside. So we'll see how that plays out. This is one that I definitely like. You know, it's hard to bet against the dollar right now, but I'm also aware too that the dollar is sitting where the dollar index is sitting. So it's going to be interesting to see how that continues to work out with that one. But it's doing what you would expect considering everything, the back and forth that's going on. So that one's one where, hey, you drip your trade in, stick your toes in the water, as Ryan would say, and you see what happens. If it moves in your direction to the downside, then you continue to add to your position and then let it go, because what is it to that extension? If it moves in that direction, 1,300 pips or so. Interesting to see if that plays out. But again, like we say, it's hard to bet against the dollar. It's just a matter of if the dollar wants to correct and how far it wants to correct before continuing long on this bullish trend. So definitely have my eye on that one, to be impatient and managing that risk on that. Okay. Anybody have any particular pairs? We got a few minutes before we log off. Sorry for being late, everybody. I had a major computer issue, so got it worked out. No other pairs. Appreciate you. Thank you.
None for me, man. I'm sitting patiently waiting. I got a trade dripped in on this pound dollar short. Stop wide outside the A. Just waiting,
Okay.
waiting to see if it See if it does get that push down. I really would love for it to stay below that 114 level.
Yeah, me too.
But you know, we'll see what happens there. I'm watching that euro dollar to see if it continues to stay below the level that it's at. And you know, those longer term swings, I'm still in that Aussie New Zealand short, Aussie CAD short, and Euro CAD long. I've been in those for a while, so I'm just letting those do their thing.
All right. I'll continue to move on, float on, continue to float on. Let me see this this CAD yen. Check this out. This is a beautiful, look, this is a beautiful breakout trade right there. That's moving long. Look how that broke and retested the top of that consolidation and continue to push forward. We got some corrective action, I think, now that may be coming through on this. Let me see something. Yeah, it's starting to push down a little bit. It may stay short through the cloud, right?
So I'm watching this one closely too, man. On the higher time frame on the 4,
Yep.
I got a bit running off the high.
All right here.
Yeah.
For it to turn over.
And so coming off that high, you got an 8.6 retracement level. Then if you're on the sub fib to the upside, you got a new AB boundary. The next low.
Okay.
So that A could get taken out, and we could push up to that 110 level, and give an 80-20 play off of that sub fib to the upside there. So I'm watching that one to see if it stays inside the A boundary or if it pushes up to that 110 level.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. Good look on that. I do not really use the smart pivots on here. I'm not a big pivot point user. I know there's people who do use pivots, but I don't get any use out of them simply because I haven't used them, you know. But I know there's a lot of people out there who do use pivot points and look for price to move up to those points, and they play the rejections a lot of times. Or if the directional bias is up, they use it kind of as a landmark, right? This is where I'm probably going to look to take some profit as it approaches this pivot point, you know, whether it's a monthly pivot point, daily pivot point, things like that. So I pretty much just stay with the, you know, the support and resistance levels. Look for those strong levels where you do have past resistance become a future support and vice versa. But that's something during your discovery process that if you find use in it and you get results and you journal and you track it, by all means, definitely use it. Definitely use it. Whatever helps you to see things clearly and that you can get consistent with, that's what it's all about once you get your foundation, right? Those extra few things that you feel that you may need to gain that edge, make you feel comfortable on these charts. So try it all out, right? That's why it takes people time, you know, because they do like to try different things to find out what you're comfortable with in the market. So, yep. Ryan, have you ever used pivots?
I've never touched them.
Okay.
Never touched them.
Yep. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. So that is, I got this pound New Zealand written down here, but I can't remember if it was something that I was eyeing up on that or not. We don't have a 382 yet. That's why I had it written down. Coming out of the zone, short. So that's another one, right? But it's bouncing around as a pound, but I would love to see it get finished out at this 382. I mean, it's moved out that 127 zone quite nice, right? Look at that. Pounds can move, man. They can really move. They can really, really move. So here, still sitting here on this one. That's an even cleaner look. There. So even back to that daily support, it's 325, 511 to the 1 hour, 382. Pounds a little tough to figure out right now, but I love to see it track down into that zone. So a lot of setups out here, folks, right? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. If you're in demo, take the shot. If you trade it, you got a small account, that's okay. Trade a micro. Nothing wrong with that. Micros add up. Okay. Any questions before we log off for tonight's session? You're welcome. So I know before we log off, drop me a 1 in the chat. Some of you have been with us for a while, some of you are new, and I know we covered bonds before, but it might have been missed. Does anybody need help? I know Ebony requested it. Anybody need help in regards to understanding bonds, yields, prices, how it affects currency? Drop me a 1 in the chat, because I want to make sure that we do another lesson on that, especially since what just happened in the UK is directly dealing with bonds. So, okay. So we'll make sure we set up to do that again, maybe Thursday of this week. Because it's very important when you're trading currencies, right? Like we're doing. Take a refresher. All right, cool. All right, Ryan, anything to add before we log off?
Continue to be diligent in putting in the work for new folks, go through the training step by step. Don't skip any steps, right? Go through all the videos in the order in which that we placed them so that you can get a strong foundation and you can start that discovery process and start implementing and doing the homework. And for everybody else, just be patient, right? Wait for your rules to be met and pull a trigger when the rules are met. Each time, start building that habit with the proper risk management. So that's it, man. Great session, bro.
Appreciate it. Hey, everybody, we thank all of you for being here. All right, I found it was helpful to watch all the videos first, then add the live sessions. Absolutely. That's exactly the way the platform is meant to work. Yep. Why? Because then you're kind of in the flow. You started learning the lingo. You can get your questions asked during the live sessions. That's exactly why we set it up that way. So we really appreciate the feedback. And yeah, thanks for doing that. Thanks for doing that. We want to shorten the learning curve and compress time frames. That's what it's all about. Try to help you avoid some of those pitfalls. Some of them are unavoidable. Just happens to learn with time. But if we can help you avoid some of the major pitfalls, streamline some things for you, that's what we're here to do. So with that being said, hey, we appreciate everybody. See you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. Till then,